Ladies and gentlemen, Gene DiNapoli.
Wow.
I have no words to say after that introduction. You think it was the second coming of Christ, right?
We'd have like futuristic outfits on or something like that, right?
That's next year. Hi, Mike. How are you?
Happy Columbus Day.
Happy. You know what? I'm going to play a little bit politically correct now. Happy Italian Heritage Day. Until everybody gets over this Columbus Day fiasco with what he did 500 years ago, 600 years ago, which was the norm. Today, it's not accepted. So let's say Happy Italian Heritage Day for now.
I like that because you don't want to know what it says on my calendar.
I don't want to know. I don't want to know. Can you see my flag?
I do. I see it. It's very nice.
Thank you.
So how was your week?
Well, Mike, the week, I tell you, we were in COVID lockdown for 7 months, and I did nothing. And in the past 5 weeks, I have worked harder on some projects that I ever did in my life. But it's all good, and we're gonna get to that later. But it was a good week. I had a couple of good meetings, a couple of gigs. Saturday night we did a gig. We had a big crowd. We were supposed to work today, but because of the rain, it got canceled. So instead of working today, I went down with my friend Fran and her daughter Kelly to see Vinny Pastore, the actor, unveil his new marinara sauce. So we went down to Avila grocery in Little Italy, and we hung out with Vinny for a couple hours. I met some great people, which we're going to talk about in a little bit. But it was a lovely day. People were just great, and I wish Vinny a ton of success. I really do.
So how did it taste?
Well, we're going to have it tomorrow.
Oh, you're going to have it tomorrow? Okay.
Tomorrow. Being that we're on at 7, my wife eats early, and then I eat after the show. But so we didn't want to make it tonight and then have it sit for a few minutes. So we're going to have it tomorrow.
Very nice.
Last week we had a wonderful show, Mike. I have not gotten so many compliments. We had Tito Puente Jr. on the show. Over 1,500 live viewers, which have followed our page and YouTube. And we were so thankful that the son of a legend was our final guest in Latino Heritage Month.
Yeah.
Why whoever made these months decided that they were going to do it in the middle of the month, I don't know. But October 15th stops Latin Heritage and starts Italian Heritage.
Right.
But being that it's the 12th Columbus Day, I wanted to start our month-long celebration of Italian artists with a young lady that I had the pleasure of working with about 5 years ago. And I got to tell you, when she opened her mouth, I just fell in love with it. And unfortunately, she does a lot of gigs when I'm doing my gigs, so I don't get to see her as often. And then last December, I had the pleasure of spending an evening with her at the place called the Blue Note in the city. She graciously had tickets to Chris Botti, who's the world-famous trumpeter, and we had a wonderful time that night. And I am so pleased that she is our first guest. So, Mike, without further ado, will you please bring into the broadcast studio Miss Cristina Fontanelli.
Hi. Gene. Hi, Mike.
Buonasera. Oggi è lunedì.
Lunedì, bravo.
Which is the
Monday, everybody. That's what he said.
Yes.
Monday.
I took Italian lessons for 8 months, and I learned 2 things because it was really a cannoli eating and wine tasting class. Okay.
Oh, it sounds wonderful.
So all I learned was oggi è martedì, which means today is Tuesday, but today's not Tuesday, and che tempo fa, which means the weather is. But I never learned how to say rainy, sunny, snowy. So it was a great time. How are you, my dear?
Oh, my goodness. That's a loaded question. I think I'm fine. I look all right. survived COVID. I did. I caught it last March. And, it's been a journey. My goodness. Isn't that amazing? I think of our ancestors. I really do. Like, coming up and how tough they got. And, you mentioned it, macaronis, cannoli. But this is what we got everybody through, I think, their faith and the cannolis.
And music.
Music.
Music, and
music.
film,
Oh
all sorts of entertainment.
Yes,
But
absolutely.
well, we're very happy that you survived it,
Thank
not
you.
only physically but mentally, because we do know that this took a toll on a lot of people, and I'm sure there were many people that listened to your shows and your music to get through this trying time. But we are resilient. And
Yes, we sure are.
We are Italian. We are proud, and we are New Yorkers and Americans.
Wow, you can't top that, Gene.
No, you can't top
said it.
So,
Yes.
Cristina, I got to tell you, I know your catalog of work, and your bio doesn't even touch the tip of the iceberg. I'm really shocked at how little it says about what you've done. So that's why I do things like this, to let people know there is more than just 4 and 5 paragraphs or sentences. So could you take us back to the start in Brooklyn?
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I did send you my short bio with the
Yes.
highlights of my career, which include, hosting for Andrea Bocelli on PBS television and Neil Vole and Michael Bublé and singing for the President of the United States, George W. Bush, inauguration, going on tour all over the world. I have stories of singing in Japan and Korea and with the Mantovani Orchestra on my own solo concerts and other events where I traveled all over the world, even to the Middle East, even to places we hear about on the news. But Brooklyn, when I was growing up, when I was 11, I saw Gone with the Wind, and I actually wanted to be an actress before I didn't want to be a singer. That came later in life. And I went to the American Academy of Dramatic Arts. I'm a trained actor. And I recently won. I think I sent it over to you. It was so cool because I had an adorable part in a short comedy film. And I won Best Actress in 2 international film festivals, the Cutting Room International Festival, and last year in Las Vegas, the Venus International Film Festival. And that was like a childhood dream come true. I felt like I was winning an Academy Award, And but when I was much younger, my father had a lady in his office that Santa was her name. She was a singing teacher. And I started taking lessons with Santa after graduating from the academy. And she started sending me down to the church to sing Ave Maria, Mama, and a song called Chitty Bitty Bin. And I used this next line in my act where I've performed in major concert and venues such as Feinstein's at the Regency Hotel and 54 Below. And the line is, I got paid $25 to sing Mama, Ave Maria, and Chitty Bitty Bin. And I still get paid $25. And if I don't say that, people are disappointed. Like I have these lines that from there, I started traveling all over the country. I was sent out to an Italian festival in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, the largest in the United States. I went there for 10 years. And I learned how to be an entertainer because when I got out there, there weren't only Italians, like people from Brooklyn. There were Polish Americans. And I started adding standards and Broadway show tunes and I went up to the Catskill Mountains, and famous agent for the Catskills, Arnold Graham's office, the rap office.
Rap agency.
Yes. Big shout out to Howie Rapp and Arnold. And I went up there and I learned how to be an entertainer.
Right.
You too, I think, Gene, right?
Yes.
I sang in the Concord and the Raleigh and all these, and I really did. I learned how to grasp being an entertainer, how to grab the stage and, all the while paying for my opera lessons and, studying opera, which I always sang. I wound up singing at the Palm Beach Opera, at the Kravis Center in Palm Beach, and the Cairo Opera and the New Jersey State Opera, receiving beautiful reviews, even in the New York Times. But somehow my life became always about being an Italian singer.
Right.
And I shared.
Hold on. I want to show the picture. Mike, can you bring up the picture of when Cristina won that award, please? I want our fans and her fans to see this wonderful picture. Mike, you there?
Went out for cannoli. Oh, yes.
Now, who's this gentleman in the picture with you?
Well, that is DJ Higgins, the brilliant director and creator of the film I was in called Santino. And I'm holding the Venus International Film Festival Award from Las Vegas, and he's holding 2. I think it's because he won as director and as writer, of the project. Right. And that was from Las Vegas just 1 year ago. That's like forever ago. I have to say, 2019, my feet didn't hit the ground. I mean, I was so busy, flying here, flying there, singing in the Hamptons. I run it too, Opera and Broadway at the Hamptons. I have been producing and starring in, for 17 years, a show called Christmas in Italy. It's a trademarked show that we highlight all the great songs of Italy with the children and the songs of Christmas and raise funds for St. Jude. And for the last 2 years, it's been at Carnegie Hall. And even that seems like a dream. Everything's so different now. Right. But this year, miraculously, we will be holding it in a beautiful church. Everything's locked down. But we're going to be in St. Jean Baptiste and 76 in Lexington, streaming live from St. Jean, which is an incredibly beautiful church with great acoustics and socially distanced, but on December 19. So I look forward to getting that link out to everyone.
Of course. Of course, it's a beautiful church because it's named after me.
There you go.
Because I'm very religious. But
are you?
Oh, yeah.
When you were growing up, you said you wanted to be an actress.
Yes.
But, and you saw Gone with the Wind.
Yes.
But in terms of singers, who was the dominant music in your household?
Well, my mother, Francesca Anna di Fontanelli, she, her side of the family was from Molfetta, Puglia. And, I didn't know this, but Puglia is the land of singers. I didn't know that it was called that. I only found out when I went in 2014, the Italian government chose me as a representative in the world of Pugliese descent, Pugliese nel mondo. So I did a concert in Molfetta, which was my grandmother's and grandfather's hometown, and I participated in Medimex, a huge European musical Freudian musical conference. So my mother had the most beautiful voice, like an angel, and she won a contest on the radio. But my grandparents were Italian immigrants. They didn't have a lot of money, and I think maybe if she had been very, very focused, decided not to really get married, have kids, date guys, instead of studying music, she could have been, oh my goodness. But she chose to get married and have children, which is a noble profession,
Sure. Absolutely.
And I inherited my voice from my mother, who was one of the most musical people I've ever met. Because songs would come out of her. She got inspiration. I read the book about Pavarotti, who I met, and his manager said he couldn't really read music, but he knew how it went. That is such a great definition of being musical. You know, Gene. People that can sing, and then there's people that play an instrument or sing and make music.
Right.
Out of it, you know?
And Pavarotti was one. Barry White was another one who could not read or write music, but Barry White knew what he wanted and put what it was. And that's a special gift.
It's a special gift.
Yeah. You have schooled musicians. You have musicians who learn on the road. And then you have people who don't do either, but they have that extra chromosome
Yes.
To make themselves fabulous. Now, we know that you have a couple of pictures. Mike, could you pick up the picture of Cristina and Bocelli? Can you met Bocelli, of course?
Yeah. Yes, I not only met Andrea, who's so wonderful. I was the host, one of 5 distinguished PBS television hosts.
Right.
It was the first thing I ever did for PBS at Central Park with Denise Richardson and Paul Azan, and you know, it was amazing. And we were stationed like sort of in a backstage area to narrate the wonderful, incredible concert. I don't know if you recall that concert from Central Park.
One night only.
Raining, it was pouring. They almost canceled it. And then by the end of the performance, everything cleared up and the moon came out over the stage in Central Park. It was such a special night. Absolutely. And that's how I originally became connected with the Bocellis, including his Mama Bocelli, who I was speaking with backstage. And it was so exciting.
We have a hello for you from Tommy Pipes McDonald.
Yes, there's a lot of nice comments, Cristina. So later on, when you go back and watch
it,
well, the reason I mentioned that, Mike, is because Tommy McDonald, not only being one of the best wedding bands in the business, is now the lead singer of the original Blues Brothers show band. Travels around the world performing the Blues Brothers music. And Tommy's been in our lives and a great singer. And maybe Tommy will grace us one day with being my guest and our guest here. So he says hello, Cristina.
Oh, that's very nice.
Yes. Now we go to Ivolo.
Yes.
Right, Mike, you got the picture of Cristina and Ivolo.
I sure
these kids, they're not kids anymore.
Right.
They're young gentlemen. They are the first Italian boy band, would you say?
Oh, yeah. Yes. Well, you know, their manager was also Andrea Bocelli's manager. So he really knew what he was doing. But these kids, they were kids at the time. They were with their mothers, you know. They were such gentlemen. And I was hired to interview them along with Jim Masters of PBS Television. But because I spoke Italian, you know, and I actually sang with them, but I think that the producer said the audience might get confused if I'm singing with them, and so they cut that part out. But they were just intelligent, you know, polite. They were amazing.
Now, did you get a picture? Did you get a picture when you met Pavarotti?
No, I really, you know what? In those days when I met Pavarotti, I was young, naive. I was telling Mike that I've always been, and maybe I shouldn't say this on the air, so to speak, but I've been kind of ambivalent about being a star or famous. And I go through periods where I'm like, well, you know, I am who I am, but I'm not driven so much. But now I am more because I think the world needs the music. And if you're not well known, you can't do that much sometimes, you know? So when I met Pavarotti, I was invited to the Metropolitan Opera with his barber, who was like 89 years old, a real character. And Pavarotti was so kind to this old man. They would joke. He threw him a big, huge birthday party for 25 people. And he loved this little barber. And I went backstage and met Pavarotti with him. I was in his presence a couple of times, but in those days, I never really got pictures with celebrities, you know, even though I worked in the office for Placido Domingo, who's such a great artist. And I would go backstage at the Met and at the New York Philharmonic and around really, but I was so shy that I never took pictures with anybody. I never, you know, so. And
we didn't have the access of camera phones either.
No, that's right. That's actually completely correct. You just made me remember. It wasn't like everyone was snapping pictures at the time.
I want to tell you a personal story, which is going to lead us into the first clip of one of your songs. But it's a funny story about my father. My father was a very big gambler in Atlantic City. So he gets front row tickets to Pavarotti when he went to Atlantic City. And seated next to my father was Frank Sinatra.
Wow.
And Pavarotti invited Sinatra to come on stage. And my father yelled out to Frank Sinatra, "Frank, you might be great, but you don't even belong on the steps next to that man.
What?
And Sinatra looked at my father and he gave him one of those, and he went on
You
stage.
know what? I have to tell you something. That was really brave of your dad. But the truth is that opera singers have studied the phrasing and breath control of Sinatra. Like, I believe Pavarotti did. You know, people actually studied how Sinatra breathed and his phrasing. So,
yeah, my father was a character who said,
I'm sure he must have been.
Yeah, but he meant it in a honoring way of Pavarotti. You know, my father was good friends with Jimmy Roselli, and so Uncle Jimmy, you know, used to come to my house and everything. So for my father to go see Pavarotti was, you know, full circle.
Yes.
My father was into Mario Morolla, Carlo Butti, you know, all the old-time Napolitan singers.
Yeah.
But speaking of Sinatra, why don't you play a little bit of that clip of Cristina at Feinstein's doing a Sinatra classic?
When somebody loves you, it's no good unless he loves you all the way. Happy to be near you when you need someone to cheer you all the way. Taller than the tallest trees, that's how it's got to feel. Deeper than the deep blue seas, that's how deep it goes. If it's real, when somebody needs you, it's no good unless he needs you all the way.
Wow.
Thank you.
So beautiful. You know, it's nice to hear a female's take on male songs and vice versa.
Yes,
That's always
I
good.
agree.
Yeah. I want to talk about the time when you worked opposite Kevin James.
Oh, yes.
Wasn't that you must have been in stitches the whole time?
Well, you know, it was really something, as I was hired to do this little CBS television promo with Kevin James. And because I've been so busy and in the opera world and in my music bubble, I had heard of Kevin James, but I wasn't really quite sure who he was. So they brought me out to the big TV studio in Bethpage. You know those big movie studios there, the TV studio. So I'm waiting downstairs, and then Kevin comes walking down the stairs. I said, "Oh my goodness, I know him. He's from TV." I didn't even know. And they dressed me up as Brunhilde. And I had, you know, Brunhilde the Wagnerian with the big things on my head. I don't know if you have a picture of that. And we had to go on the set, the green screen. I have pictures in front of the green screen with Kevin. And I had like 2 lines that I had to sing. And Kevin, and the truth is, it was very professional. It wasn't like a lot of time to fool around. The director said, "Okay, let's go, let's do it." And quite frankly, because I have comedy training and acting, I just nailed it. And the director was like, "Oh, well, you know what? Let's just do it again. Let's see what, you know." And I did it again. I nailed it. And the makeup artist and the stage manager person, the production assistant said, "No one ever does that. They never nail it like that. They have to usually do like 10 takes, 20 takes." Wow. Nailed it. But he was so wonderful. He was standing there. He didn't even know who I was, really. And now I have this that I performed with Kevin James, you know. And they played it during, I think it was football season, you know.
We've heard so many nice stories about him. So it's nice to know that you could attest to that.
He was lovely.
I just want to run off a couple of the places that you've performed in. And I got to tell you something. When you say that you don't believe you're a celebrity, I don't know too many non-celebrities that worked, not only in this country, the opera houses, Carnegie Hall, but Hong Kong, Cairo, Egypt, I mean, those are two of the best constructed opera houses on the planet. Forget about what you've done here. Carnegie Hall, Boston Pops, St. Louis, both centers, Lincoln and Kennedy, Philadelphia. It's incredible. It's incredible. So when you say to us that you don't see yourself, well, we see you as that because your resume speaks for itself.
Wow, thank you.
You are more than a celebrity. You're a star. You're a shining star. I don't know anybody that doesn't know you that says you're always with a smile. You always have positive words, and that's what the word needs now. Is more positivity, more complimentary.
That's for sure.
When you went to Hong Kong and Cairo, especially Hong Kong, how did you find that the people there accepted your Italian language shows and songs?
Well, in Hong Kong, I actually was there twice. I was there when the British had it, and then I was there when the Chinese took over. So I was with it. The first time I was with a troupe called the Ambassadors of Opera. So we were doing a shortened version of La Boheme. I was singing Mimi, the lead part, and the second half was Broadway show tunes. The second time I was there, I was a solo singer on a Japanese cruise line, and it was the easiest job of my life because once every 10 days I traveled the world, and once every 10 days I had to do a 40-minute show. You would appreciate that, Gene. That's like nothing. It's not even a whole hour. And I learned how to entertain in Japanese too. I actually did. I would say, "Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Hajime mashite dodo yoroshiku." And my name is Cristina Fontanelli. And I would sing in Japanese. But in Hong Kong, I have to tell you, one of the greatest birthdays of my life. I don't know if I should tell you which birthday it was, but we had done a concert in the hotel, huge, beautiful, like top-notch 5-star. I was still in my gown, and it was my birthday. And we decided, a handful of us, to go out on the town. So we wound up, I didn't change. I was in my gown from the concert. We wound up in a James Bond movie, one of the bars that was filmed in a James Bond movie. Then we went and we met these naval officers from the battleship that was docked there. And we wound up getting a private tour of this battleship from these naval officers. I mean, it was the most amazing. These are the things, I have more stories in a way from working my way up the ladder than I think if people made it to the top right away, because I have incredible stories. They say that the journey is half the battle. But speaking of cruise ships, if I want to take 1 minute to talk about some of our sponsors, and one of our sponsors is Dream Destinations Travel, Howard and Karen, and they book people on cruise ships like myself, Christina. So maybe we can get together with them and do something once the world reopens. So that's Dream Destinations Travel. That sounds good. Yes. Our next sponsor is, for those of you that are into the CBD oil, CBD by sweetheel.com. Mention my name, get 20% off and a free gift. For those of you that need dry cleaning here in the Bronx.
Yeah, don't want to interrupt you, but I'm getting a couple messages. You're echoing now. Let me just remove you real quick. I'm going to bring you back in 2 seconds, okay? Okay. Hi, Christina. How are you? That's a way to get rid of someone. No, we're going to bring it back. Here we go. Okay, Gene, you're back.
There we go. So for those of you in the Throgs Neck, Pelham Bay section of the Bronx, we have pure organic dry cleaning located at 3166 East Tremont Avenue. See our good friend Wally there. Mention my name. Pay for 3 items. Get a 4th one done free. And now a new addition to our sponsorship. If for those of you that need accounting services, we have the Creative CPA, 914-589-1013. Although based in New Rochelle, Francisco will do everything via Zoom. Your first consultation of 30 minutes is free. Mention you saw it on the Reminiscing with Gene DiNapoli podcast. And if you go to our page on Facebook, there's an offers button. If you click that, all our sponsors are there 24/7. All right? We got fans of yours from West Virginia.
I saw that, yes. Stefano. Hello, everyone. I miss you guys in Clarksburg.
And from Chicago.
Oh, I know Diane too. Great. So now let's go to probably what is the crowning jewel when you're an American, performing at the White House.
Yes.
And you've done this twice.
Yes, well, yes, I performed at the Clinton White House during the holiday season, and that was wonderful in the White House. And then I was asked to open the ceremonies for the President George W. Bush's second inauguration for the Stars and Stripes Ball, which is New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania. Miss America introduced me, and I sang "God Bless America" and the Star Spangled Banner. And I have to tell you, anybody who has a chance to go to an inauguration, no matter what side you're on, it is tremendously exciting. It was freezing, and I was invited guest at the outside, when President Bush was made president again, right. And I was put up at the Watergate Hotel, so I was surrounded by history, and such an incredible thing for a girl from Brooklyn with Italian immigrant parents to do that, just amazing.
You said it, no matter what side of the fence you're on, people should remember that it's the office that we respect first. And then the person. So no matter who is president, whether I like them or not or voted for them, if I got that invitation, I would scurry to Washington, D.C., because it's the office as well. So that's just one. And you also got a picture with who I believe is one of the greatest mayors of our fine city, Rudy Giuliani.
Oh, yes. He made us safe and feel secure in New York City. And I just, as a matter of fact, saw him again recently. I used to sing for Mayor Giuliani all the time, even at his birthday party. I brought Elaine Toscanini, was the wife of Walter Toscanini, the grandson of the great conductor, Arturo Toscanini. We inaugurated the Steinway piano at Gracie Mansion on Mayor Giuliani's birthday. Wow. Andrew, his son, was a boy then, and he kept running into the room with the dog, and I was singing Un Bel Dì from Madame Butterfly. Mayor Giuliani loves opera.
Yes.
And I would sing Italian songs and opera, and I was there many times during his, he was mayor. Wow. And I'm very grateful to him for what he did for New York City, where I live. He turned it around, and it was so super safe.
Right.
Incredible.
So we go from some musical greats that you worked with and performed with to the great mayor. And then one of my favorite actors who portrayed Dean Martin perfect, Joe Mantegna.
Yes.
How was Joe to work with?
Well, I was hired, so to speak, as a celebrity at an event. We sort of were there together as a celebrity, so to speak, in near Hollywood in Santa Monica for the National Italian American Foundation. Wow. So that's the picture of that evening with Joe.
Beautiful. Nice guy?
Yeah, super nice.
I hear he's so sweet.
Super nice.
Yeah.
And then,
what, buddy?
What could she say? She has to say he's nice, right?
Well, no, I really mean it. No, you'd be surprised. I'm from Brooklyn.
She would say no comment.
Yeah, exactly.
So now we go to a guy that's an American legend, Mickey Rooney.
Oh, yeah. You did your research. You really did.
Well, I told you this interview show is unlike any, because I'm an entertainer, Christina, and I don't want to get asked the same 4 questions. And I don't want people to know I do just Elvis or the Blue. I want people to know the whole package. So I want our viewers to know you as much as they can in an hour. So
I really appreciate that, Gene.
I don't have a Mickey Rooney picture, but I do have a little Broomhilda.
She looks more like a witch. Are you sure that's Brunhilde? Somewhere out there are my pictures with Kevin. I didn't forgot to send that with Kevin James and with Mickey, because I sang "Happy Birthday" to Mickey Rooney for his 90th birthday at Feinstein's at the Regency, and I wound up in a book, "The Life and Times." I'm a historical archive. In a book, "The Life and Times of Mickey Rooney," because the incredible people that showed up for Mickey for his birthday were Tony Bennett, Nathan Lane, Michael Feinstein, Donald Trump. I'm in a book with Donald Trump, the president now. And like you said, I respect him. I mean, New York was, when Mickey did that, was I think it was 2009. What an incredible place, and how much love was in that room for him. And he was doing one-nighters. You know what that is, Gene, because you're an entertainer. But for your audience, that means you're doing a show every night. And he had come in from Canada with his 8th wife, who now then he got divorced from. She lasted the longest, but they got a divorce, sadly. But anyway, they did a show at Feinstein's, and then after the show, I sang "Happy Birthday," and all the celebrities, gave him plaques and awards and kudos, and it was just
right.
You can't duplicate that.
No, you
that
can't.
Was incredible.
You can't. Speaking of awards, I know that you were the recipient of something that I'm trying to get my mind around. How does a young lady like you get the Lifetime Achievement Award from the Sons of Italy? I mean, did you start when you were -7?
Oh, aren't you sweet? I have good Italian genes, Gene. But even when I got that, I got the Lifetime. Thank you. A big shout out to the Sons of Italy. Joe Shami was the president at the time. The Lifetime Achievement Award in the Arts, which had previously been given to Luciano Pavarotti. I mean, it was like, talk about following in big, huge footsteps. But I think I made a comment at the podium that night. I said, I hope this doesn't mean my career that's the end of my career, because it wasn't my whole lifetime. Maybe they should have said a half a Lifetime Achievement Award, but it's very special.
Sure. They say once you get that award, you're in retirement, or if they honor you with the Academy Awards. But I have a feeling you got a lot of life left in you. So I don't see anything
Thank you.
So I have a hello from John Anello.
Yes, Johnny Mandolin. Hi.
Mandolin. When I told him you were on our show tonight, he was like a kid in the candy store.
Oh,
he's a great guy.
Wonderful. He's just a terrific person. Thank you, John.
We're going to do some shows together.
Wonderful.
So what do I want to say now? Oh, so how many CDs do you have available at this time?
Well, my main CD was on the record label of Sandy Linzer, who was Platinum Records. He wrote for the Four Seasons. He wrote for Whitney Houston. Cristina Fontanelli sings. Thank you, Maria. Oh, I'm seeing all my friends. I feel like I've come out of COVID, like the COVID haze, Thank you guys for writing in. Anyway, so Cristina Fontanelli sings great Italian favorites. And it's an incredible record because of also who produced it. And you can get it on my website, and also Cristina Fontanelli Live, which is live recordings of when I was on the road on tour with the Mantovani Orchestra in Tokyo, for example. And I sing in Japanese and French and Spanish with another orchestra in North Carolina, the Charlotte Philharmonic, singing Gershwin. And I forget what else is on there, but and then I have a Christmas in Italy live, very sweet, like folksy kind of CD. Right. Quite frankly, I should be recording more. So if you have any friends out there, I have a bit of, I don't have AD or whatever, not really, but I don't gravitate towards getting into the studio, and honestly, I should be. I really should be.
Maybe we could work on that together. But we want to let you know that if you send us the artwork and the track listings, we put it on our page to promote to our people your CDs as well.
Oh, wonderful.
But you were mentioning languages, and you sing in 9 different languages.
I do.
So what are they?
Well, oh, geez, I should read off my card. Because I'm an opera singer and I became an Italian singer. But then also, you see, I added to my languages because when I started traveling to Japan, Korea, I said, I want to sing in their native tongue because that's how you reach people, even if it's one song. And if you could say hello, ladies and gentlemen, or something in their native language. So I sing in, I hope I don't miss any, Italian, French, German, Spanish, Neapolitan, I don't know. That's sort of another language. Japanese, Korean, Chinese. There's one more.
English.
And I sort of started working on Russian. I sing it not so great, but I sing Ochuchonya in Russian. And I think I probably missed something, I'll be honest. But
Gene, what other languages can you say the weather is?
English, the weather is. I speak 11 different languages, Mike. I don't know if you know that.
I didn't know that.
I do. I speak American, Italian, Bronx Italian, New York Italian, Italian when I'm eating, Italian when I'm drinking. And,
we have a request for you, Gene. Robert wants you to record an album in Japanese.
Yeah. Well, listen, when that guy puts a comment, you don't have to read it, okay? That's our good friend Bobby. Yeah. So you were talking about Gone with the Wind before.
Yes.
And you wanted to be an actress.
Yes.
So I want to propose something to you.
Okay.
When this world goes back to normal, my family owns a catering hall in Briarcliff called the Briarcliff Manor, which was the photos for Gone with the Wind. If you see any pictures or promo, it's not
Perry.
Perry's my cousin.
Yeah, I met Perry because right after I came back from Las Vegas, and they had an event for Miss Italy America, Italian America. I was there.
Yes.
Beautiful.
So when this opens up, we're going to do a show. Myself, you, Vanessa Racci. You know Vanessa Racci?
Sure I do.
Teo.
Aww.
We're going to get all the singers together. We're going to do a night at the Briarcliff Manor so that you'll be in Gone with the Wind.
Oh, my goodness. I didn't know they filmed there or took pictures there. Isn't that interesting?
Yeah, they filmed in the South, but the promo was all done there for Tara, the name of
I love that film so much.
Yeah. Let's talk about listen, it's always nice to get paid. Unfortunately, this money makes the world go round. But what we do for free defines us as people. So tell us about your Christmas show and the Cristina Fontanelli Foundation.
Oh, Gene, you're so sweet. Thank you. This interview is amazing, tremendously wonderful. Before I tell you about that, I do want to thank you. I knew you had heart because that night at the Sons of Italy when I needed help desperately with the sound and my iPad with the music, you were so helpful.
Don't let people know I'm a good guy. I don't want people to know that.
Well, I wanted to tell you that 17 years ago, I really believe it was a divine inspiration because a friend of mine, they were doing like small concerts in little churches around New York. And she said, why don't you do a concert? And I said, that's a good idea. But if I'm going to do it, I don't want to do it small. I would like to do it in a real. So I actually went ahead and booked Merkin Concert Hall at Lincoln Center. And I had the guts to do that. And I had this inspiration. It was around Christmas. I said, you know what? Why don't we do a Christmas show? Because that could be for families. And I'd like to preserve the Italian music. And what's better than that? So it would always be a matinee so the old timers could come. And I wanted the families to come and preserve the songs of Italy. But even more than that, I wanted them to feel the joy of being Italian at Christmas. And even people that either don't like opera or maybe never went to that type of concert, they used to call it Cristina Fontanelli's Christmas party. So even John would play the mandolin in the lobby. We would have music the minute somebody came in the door, And through the years, I always wanted children because Christmas isn't the same without children. We did have mandolins. I wanted the mandolins from Naples, the accordion, the guitar, the real Italian style. And it took a few years for all the kids to show up. But finally, when they did, we've had like 80 kids singing in Italian, Tu scendi dalle stelle, dancing to Dominic the Donkey, and prize-winning dance troops even. We had Staten Island last year, the Dream Studio, incredible, like the Rockettes, and so talented. And funds are sent to St. Jude's. They're sent to an orphanage in Naples, the Casa Famiglia in Metà di Sorrento in Italy. And, it's a charitable thing. And if I could, my dream was to have a product line like Paul Newman had his spaghetti sauce, to sell product to raise funds for charity, and celebrating Christmas. It could be panettone. It could be, anything like that.
Sure.
So it's 17 years later, and through thick and thin, I started bringing it out to San Diego, California. I performed it in Los Angeles. We actually brought it down to West Virginia. You guys in West Virginia, you brought me down with mandolins, and we performed Christmas in Italy there. And we've been working on a PBS television special of it. This year we will stream it, and see where the good Lord brings it, And my foundation, just so you know, my foundation is to produce family-friendly, across the spectrum of the media, which could be TV, cartoons, stage concerts, giving youth and children performing opportunities, giving tickets to not underprivileged and veterans, and raising funds for charity.
Fabulous.
Yeah, Christine, any information you have on that, send it along to us. We could put it on our page so it gets out to all the fans that are watching now.
Oh, thank you, Mike. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. I'm going to be working on a food-based show. We're creating it now for streaming. So I'm sure within the next 6 months or 8 months, I'll be in a position to talk to people about putting your products on a worldwide scale to this.
That would be wonderful. Yeah. It would be a dream come true.
Yeah, we're actually we're writing it right now. We're going to be going around the country.
Very good.
It's called Shut Up and Eat with Gene DiNapoli, and it's a regular guy's look at restaurants. So,
interesting.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. But listen, I know you have professionals and celebrities with you, but you do know that one of the biggest selling Christmas artists of all time is Elvis Presley. So
no, I really didn't know that. I mean, I know he's the biggest selling artist, but I didn't know that.
Elvis's songs are number 2. So if you ever need my services at your event to come do some Elvis Christmas to lift the spirits of the kids, all you have to do is.
It's a great idea. Yeah. Christmas in Italy has been traditionally kind of classical. That's why it wound up in Carnegie Hall. And when I say classical, it has some crossover music. I even sing Santa Baby with Santa Claus. That's like a breakout tune or whatever. But but I think that's a great idea. And
we could do what's that song? It's Cold Outside.
Baby, it's cold outside.
We could do that song, Cold Outside.
There you go. If they don't have a sense of the words.
Right.
So, Cristina, we've touched on the past, present. What does the future hold for you? And what is your ultimate crowning gold brass ring? Or have you achieved it? Is there anything you'd like to do that you haven't done yet, or that you've done on a smaller scale but you'd like to go grander?
Yeah, I definitely would. I would like to I would love to do more acting. I'm really, really fine actress, and I don't want to be, and I'm funny. I'm very funny. So I would love to do more in that area.
Great.
Because I want to lift people up too. When I appear at 54 Below, for example, the last show I did there, I said people need to be lifted up. It wasn't as dreadful as it is now.
Right.
But I still felt that they needed to be. So I decided I'm just going to, Gene, you're an entertainer, so you can relate to this. When you decide you're just going to lift them up like a rocket ship, like you just.
Yeah.
So I would like to do that. If I could perhaps record a song, I would love to do, now that you mentioned Elvis Presley, I really wish I would do more gospel kind of music, like spiritual. I would love to do that.
I think you could. I think that'd be fabulous of you.
Yeah, someone had recommended to me to do an album like Elvis of sort of gospel. I would love that.
Fabulous.
Yeah, that would be very different too, right?
Yeah. Well,
inspirational stuff, something that's inspirational really touches me. And quite frankly, my goal is just to stop being so ambivalent. I'm not hiding. It's COVID, but still, I took advantage of and get out there because, when I'm lucid, in my lucid moments, I realize that we as artists, as entertainers, we really do have an obligation to do our craft.
Yes.
That our music needs to reach people. And I'm sometimes a little negligent. So I'm going to apologize to the people watching and say that maybe I'm going to get in your face again, like full time, because I do get a lot of fan letters and comments that they were moved and they were inspired and they were happy so it's our job.
All right.
Well, what we're going to do, Cristina, the rumor has it, I don't know if we can confirm this yet, Gene, but me and Gene are going to be doing a United States tour, like a carnival, like the circuses where you don't want to touch anything. Like those kind of things. We're going to be traveling around the country and get some carny folk, and we'll have some shows on the road. What do you think, Gene?
What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you?
He has to be in show business. That's what's wrong.
We're actually working on another show called The Wacky Genealogy of Gene DiNapoli, where it turns out my ancestors were relevant in all aspects of history. And it's an 8 to 10 minute spoof. So if you'd like to be part of that, do you know Valentina Ferrante?
Oh, my goodness. I haven't seen Valentina in a very long time.
Valentina is one of the writers, and she plays my wife. Maybe you could play my gumada. You could play my girlfriend.
No.
Get a call. I know, right? But
as long as I don't have to curse or anything, I don't do that.
Never.
It has to be family friendly.
It's always family friendly. But you mentioned before about opera. We have a clip of you at Feinstein's doing probably one of Puccini's greatest works. So we'd like to show that to our fans and our following. Michael?
Thank you.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong. You sang that sitting on the piano?
I may have been. I know all the way I was sitting on the piano.
Yeah.
That was. By the way, that was Dennis Buck at the keyboard, wonderful musician.
Yes.
Yeah.
Fabulous.
I don't know if I was. I may have been standing because to sing opera, you need to. There was a famous opera singer named Birgit Nielsen that used to sing Wagnerian. Like those really.
Right.
Like Brunhilde. And she said, what do you need to be a great opera singer? She said, a comfortable pair of shoes. Because when you're singing, it's amazing. When I'm done singing, my legs are the things that are so tired. Yes. Because you're like the trunk of a tree. Like your support is in your legs and you're holding this very oak tree up. You know, and
you should try singing with an Elvis jumpsuit on then. That would be something else.
I never did that, but I'm game for anything almost.
Well, you know what? I might have one that fits you because you have to be one of the few people that look like you lost weight during COVID instead of gaining it like the rest of us.
Whoa. Well, that's very nice of you because you know what? I said after I got COVID, I said, I better take pictures because I'll never be this thin again. I lost my appetite. And I kind of was like, wow, this is what it feels like not to like want to eat everything in sight. You know, it's like was weird for me because my appetite is so. And then I did put on the pandemic pudge. We all can relate to pandemic pudge. So, you know, I decided I better take care of this. So, you know, in the summer and stuff, I started to cut down. And
well, you look fabulous. You sound fabulous. You are fabulous.
Oh,
and sweet. Cristina, I can't tell you how appreciative we are that you are here for us. Do me a favor. Can you please tell everybody your website and your Facebook so that people can get in touch with you and let you know how much they appreciate you?
Oh, I'd be happy to. You probably find me no matter how you type in my name because it's all over the internet. But my website is www.Cristina Fontanelli. You see it on the screen.com.
No H. No H.
No H, because when I was younger, I'm going to share something. My real name was Christine, which I like that name actually. But I sang for so many Italians that they started calling me Cristina. And then they started taking the H out. And just like when the internet hit, I said, that's my professional name, Cristina Fontanelli. And my Facebook page also, I have a lot of friends that I interact a lot on my personal page, Cristina Fontanelli. But I also have a fan page, so to speak, that my handlers, so to speak, are always saying, Cristina, you have to just speak to people out of your fan page. But I don't usually pay attention, but really, I have a fan page too, Cristina Fontanelli. Wonderful. And it even has a registered trademark on my name because I had to trademark Christmas in Italy and my name.
Right.
So,
and your website, Cristina Fontanelli as well.
Right? I'm sorry?
Your website's Cristina Fontanelli.
Oh, yes. Yes.
And that's where people could go and buy your CDs.
Yes.
And find out your schedule when the world opens up.
We already have 54 Below on April 21st, and I will be adding in 2021. We pushed it forward 3 times that date, you know. But we will be doing something on December 19. We can't let a lot of people in the church at all, but you know, if someone out there is dying to be in the church live for the performance, please reach out to me, and I'll explain how we will be distributing those tickets, and we will be streaming it. So mark your calendar, Saturday, December 19th, I believe in the afternoon and possibly the evening as well.
Right.
So that's the plan until everything is clears up, you know.
Well, count us in for April 21st. We'd love to be there.
Love to have you there.
Love to be there. Let us know about the Christmas show if we can help out. Thank you from the bottom of my heart.
Oh, thank you, Gene, for all you do.
Thank you. And I got a feeling we're going to bring you back on for part 2 of Cristina Fontanelli.
Wow.
So, ladies and gentlemen, as we do, Cristina, stick around a little bit. We got another guest. We got something coming up special. As we do every week, let's give our guest, Cristina Fontanelli, a big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody, as we do in Italy. Thank you. Thank you.
My glasses broke.
All right.
Thank you, Mike.
Okay.
Thank you.
Good night. Thanks, Christina. Wow.
What a great guest.
That's something. You know what, Gene? My name was Christina originally, too. My birth name.
Let's not go there, please. Let's not go there, please. What a show. I mean, what a way to start off Italian Heritage Month, right, Mike?
Yes, and there was so many comments, too. If Cristina could still hear us, go back and look. There's so many nice comments that she got, and it was very, very nice.
Right.
So, Gene, we have somebody.
Yeah, so let me preface this. I was very honored to be asked to start doing some shows for a streaming service called Foodie TV. And Foodie TV is a food-based network on all different platforms. And then we're going to do the restaurant review show, Shut Up and Eat with Gene DiNapoli. We're going to be hosting a show called Wine Time with Gene DiNapoli. They seem to like what I do, and we're going to make it a little comical. We're going to make it serious. It's just going to be a fun show. So in doing this, we've met other people that have shows affiliated with that. And they have another platform called Street Beats. And Street Beats is on Facebook. It's on the web. It's on Instagram. And there's a show which I normally don't use profanity. So I'm going to bleep it out. But there's a show which took its name from one of the greatest scenes in a movie called Goodfellas. There was a scene where Joe Pesci and Frankie Vincent had an altercation in the bar, and Frankie Vincent says, go get your bleeping shine box. Well, this guy who's up next with us, Mike Vivallo, created a interview show, and the concept is so great that it cannot not be a hit. So we're going to bring Mike in, and let's welcome my new friend, Mike Vivallo, ladies and gentlemen.
Gino.
Michael.
How we doing, boys?
We're doing better now that you're here.
Hello,
oh, man. Trying to be like you, boys. Trying to be like you. I love
Mike,
the last guest.
Mike, meet Michael.
Hi, Mike.
Nice to meet you, man.
I got to ask you a question. I see a Wheaties box behind you. Is that a collector's item because somebody's on it?
Yes.
I got to ask. Oh,
that's the 98 Yankees.
Love it.
Nice. I have my main industry is the sports industry. I have a production company that I do a ton of sports stuff for a site called Elite Sports New York. And I have in my office here sports memorabilia all over the place. And my backdrop is some Giant stuff and some Yankee stuff.
Fabulous. So 98 Yankees. You got a minute to talk about them?
Yeah, man. I got more than a minute.
So, best player on the team that year.
The best non-pitcher on the team was Bernie Williams. He won a batting title, Gold Glove. He was I think he's one of the only like 2 or 3 guys ever to win batting title, Gold Glove, World Series in the same year. So he was definitely the best offensive player. Obviously, you have Jeter in there. And you have, the best thing about the 98 Yankees was that it was such a team that they spread it out. They won all those games. They had great pitching.
Right. Speaking of pitching, I don't know if you saw the picture. I met the great David Cohn Saturday.
David Cohn. Oh, David Cohn. He's
great
amazing.
Guy.
That guy's hysterical too.
Great guy. I did a scene in a TV show with his son, Sammy, who at 8 years old, the kid's a professional already. Could you imagine?
Cohn is amazing. He's my favorite guy in the Yes Network now too. Definitely.
Yeah. Definitely. Great guy. And hopefully we'll do more with him. So let's get to the show. As I just said, we're both dealing with a network streaming service.
Yes.
And you, besides being a sports show producer and host, you created probably one of the most original ideas for an interview show. So called Go Get Your...
Are we cursing on the show? Come on. Come on. We're not cursing.
I'll let you do it.
We're uncensored.
Mike, this guy Gene reminds me so much of Dice Clay. I wanted to write something in the Facebook. I was like, I'm going on with the Dice Clay of interviewing.
So when I do my Elvis show, everybody writes a great voice, but you look more like Dice Clay than you look like Elvis. And I go, I know. So it's go get your fucking shine box, right?
Yeah. So we had, the idea came to me when I was actually got a random shoe shine with a guy from the show Impractical Jokers. It was really weird. I got a shoe shine next to him. We started talking, and I was like, damn, this isn't a really cool idea for just a show. Just like a short 8 to 10 minute interview series like you see on the streets now. The Barstool guy does it with the pizza reviews. It's 5 minutes with a guest, and then you talk about pizza.
Sure.
Or, someone will do a cooking show, and they'll be in the kitchen with a celebrity or something, and they'll make a favorite dish. And it's just one day I was like, this is an amazing idea. Set on it for like a year before I actually put it in motion.
Really?
Got some guests around, found a partner in Mafia Chronicles, which I would assume your audience, if they don't, they probably already will follow Mafia Chronicles on Instagram and Facebook. A huge audience for the Mafia entertainment, type of fans. And we just said, let's just do this kind of bare bones. You do it ourselves, a grassroots project, produce it ourselves. And we did that. And we got some good guests and some great feedback. And, obviously 2020 wasn't the greatest year to try to follow something up like that.
Right.
Of course.
But
so let's talk about season 1, Mike. You had the Vinny Vella, who was if this guy was in any more Mafia movies, they were going to give him the Mafia of the Year award, right? Guy was in almost every good Mafia movie that there was. Vinny, who sadly now passed. Yeah. You had Michael Imperioli, small character from The Sopranos, who's one of the best writers. And I say small character as a joke because his character, Christopher, tackled so many issues that he became a main character. Catherine Narducci, who's from my neighborhood of the Bronx, who I just saw a couple of weeks ago, and she opened up a gallery on City Island because she's an acclaimed artist and painter.
Yeah, well, we talk to everyone. We've met through this show. We've met so many people who've reached out to us because they follow Mafia Chronicles.
Right.
And it becomes like a platform to promote what they're doing.
Right.
We worked a lot with the Sopranos Con. Do you guys remember that? That happened last year in New Jersey.
Yep.
So it was a lot of Sopranos people, and that's where we got to talk to Catherine. We actually we broadcast an episode with Vinny Pastore when me and him did our interview for Get Your Fuck Up Shine Box at Sopranos Con, and me and Vin were on stage and we talked about it.
Right. So, I was with Vinny today. Vinny.
No way.
Vinny unveiled his new marinara sauce in Little Italy, and I went down there to support him. And
sure,
they had a good line.
We did it at A&S, which is who makes his sauce. That's where we did the show. We brought the crew to A&S. We filmed it outside of A&S. We tasted the sauce. This was last September.
Gotcha.
But no, the best part about these guys is that everyone's so friendly and so nice and wants to help you out and wants to, and they like, they appreciate that you're trying to do something. I was amazed by how friendly everyone was and how accommodating all of the guests were and just people that you had to work with, whether it be PR or agents, also so accommodating, so nice. And it just got us so excited for a potential season 2.
Right. You also had Paul Borghese on. Paul, I believe, started out as a writer-director, but now he's been in a few things as well. You have had Paul on. He's on The Sopranos. He had a nice couple of seconds on The Irishman, which I filmed a few scenes for The Irishman, but unfortunately, most of the stuff was let on the cutting room floor. And the only thing you see of me in The Irishman is the back of my head. So if you see this in the restaurant scene, it's me.
You were good. You were good.
I was good. I won Cranium of the Year award. So Paul,
and Paul, the thing I knew Paul from the very, very beginning is that he played Yogi Berra in the movie 61.
Yes.
About the HBO Billy Crystal movie 61. So that's how I first got introduced to Paul. And then he's the nicest dude in the world. He actually is ready. We haven't done anything for season 2, but he's going to be the executive producer of season 2 of Shinebox. So we're going to use his connections. We're going to use some of what he brings to the table as director.
And Paul also produces, he did produce the East Coast's biggest Italian festival in Blavet, New York, which I've been trying to get in for years, Paul. For years. The Italian Elvis, Paul. I do Elvis in Italian. I do Dion. I do Bobby Darin. I do it all, Paul.
You're in, dude. You're in. If this world ever gets back to normal, you're in.
The world's in. And then I got to ask, you had Federico Castellucci.
Yeah.
But I got it. And you're going to have you had Tony Darrow, who's doing our podcast in November. Tony's a great guy. But this name eludes me. What Italian actor is John Amos.
So John Amos, he's not an Italian actor. So John Amos is coming on the show. He is from Good Times.
I know.
He's he's from Good Times. He's from Coming to America. He's the owner of McDowell's in Coming to America. Yeah. He is the bad guy, one of the bad guys in Die Hard 2.
Yes.
And he's just a very recognizable face.
Absolutely. And
he's just he actually is a friend. He's a friend of mine I grew up with. My hometown went to high school with is his manager. So it's very random. But I'm like, obviously we want, we're just reaching out to everyone I could possibly think of. So John is agreed to do it too. So we have all these guests lined up for season 2, and now we're just waiting to shoot it.
Mike, real quick, John Amos. I don't know if you want to bring it up with him, but he was in a 1971 commercial, I think, of a McDonald's commercial. He was cleaning the grease out of the French fry machine.
Oh, really? There you go.
He was in that with Anson Williams was also in the same commercial.
That's beautiful. Yeah.
So, you mean he had previous experience in McDonald's when he was in America?
That's where he got it from.
Exactly.
We're gonna do so. Yeah. So I talked to his manager a lot, and we're gonna actually do on Queens Boulevard a pizza review. So Coming to America Part 2 is coming out very soon.
Yep.
And I'm going to help. Hopefully we can get him to do a pizza review with the Barstool guy.
Right.
At Queens Boulevard promoting Coming to America Part 2.
Right.
Did they film that on Queens Boulevard? I know the first one they did, didn't they?
I don't know where they filmed it. I have no idea. But it's probably still, I know it's still based there. And McDowell's is still there. And it's a part of the movie. So
Mike, your show is roughly 5 to 7 to 8 minutes.
Yeah, somewhere in there. Probably more like 8 to 10, but yeah, exactly.
Right. Well, I'd like to ask your help, if you don't mind. If any of your guests would like to do our hour-long show, maybe they could come and we could do things there as well.
I think that's a great idea. I definitely have some guests for you. Everyone's promoting everything. Everyone is so nice.
Yes, absolutely.
Right now, especially people, they want to get out there. They want to do stuff, and I appreciate you having me on, guys.
Of course.
It's everything stopped. My whole thing was being out at places, meeting people. I was interviewing players a lot. I was doing the shoe shines. We were doing stuff. We were connecting and networking, and that got really that closed down hard.
Here's a little still frame from Shoe Shine.
There you go. That's me and Craig DeFrancia. Also, a small part in Irishman where he kills Gary Pastor, Albert Anastasia. He does the hit on Albert Anastasia, and he also did the hit on. And then he was in Green Book. I think was Craig's kind of biggest thing. He spoke Italian to. And Gary Pastor, who is an amazing human being.
Gary's a friend. He's
the funniest dude on earth.
Yeah, Gary's a friend. And two things. Number one, you mentioned the Irishman. Funny part, my distant ancestor was in the chair next to Anastasia when he got killed.
Wow, of course he was.
Jimmy Scolante was my mother's great uncle, who was in that life of hustling and everything. So he was in that. And Mike, I got a feeling me and you were related because I told you that my real name before DiNapoli 200 years ago was Vivolo.
That's wild.
And Vivolo, we could be.
That's wild.
Yeah.
We are northern Italian. My name comes from my dad, northern Italian, Naples. My mom's Sicilian.
All right. Great. So your dad had to sleep with both eyes open with your mom, right? Because
oh God, I don't know I don't know how they got through that. Those days, the late 60s, early 70s, it was the Wild West, man.
Right.
Crazy stuff. Good story. And my dad owned a bar in Pelham.
Where?
Called Bendovers, which is right across the street from
Iona College.
From Iona College, was right across the street from the Crazy Horse, which was Vinny Pastor's bar. So my dad and Vinny are friends from the bar days in Pelham.
Wow. That's funny.
Yeah.
That's great. So is the Shinebox show on Instagram as well? Or are you umbrellaed under Mafia Chronicles?
It is. Well, it's on Mafia Chronicles Instagram. It's on my Instagram. It's on Mafia Chronicles YouTube.
Okay. So what's your Instagram for our viewers to go and look without
right there, Team Vivolo right on the screen, at Team Vivolo. That's my Twitter, Instagram. You're going to get a lot of Angry Giants content right now because the Giants are 0-5. You can get a little sad Yankees content. You're not going to get enough Mafia stuff because we haven't done it in a long time. But you can go back, if you go back to the fall and the summer, you see that. And yeah, I mean, this is great, man. I love so far. I've only known you for a couple of weeks, and I've followed all your shit. It's so funny, dude.
Thank you. We hope to make something out of it with the restaurant show and the wine show. And Mike has been such a great producer with me. I just don't like that he's better looking than me. He's on camera all the time. I wish he would go away once in a while so people would focus on me. But that's a joke, Mike. I love it.
No, it's Beauty and the Beast.
Yes. Okay.
They need eye candy, don't they? They need a little eye candy.
So, what's next? What's next for you?
We're doing a bunch of things. So I'm working on a cooking show with a person you may have known by the name of Charles Oakley from the Knicks. I
think so.
We're going to explore doing a cooking show with him for the Foodie TV because they have a really cool platform and they know a lot of brands. Food guys, you with the restaurants and anything to do with food is so money for social media because brands, they want to, you want to cook a plate of cheese, just use my cheese. There's so many great opportunities for branded content. So we'll do something with Oakley there. I really like what Foodie TV has as a platform and a reach and a plan.
Yes.
And then hope, a lot of my stuff, it's so annoying because it's interviews, it's on location, it's going to events, it's doing things that are really not happening. I have a Giants podcast, which you can check out, True Blue New York Giants. And we're gonna see what we can make happen, man. We got a lot of stuff,
Well, we're gonna make it happen because in addition to being Italians, we're Americans, we're human beings, and we're resilient, and we will force through this trying time, and we will work it all out in the end. It'll all work. All our followers on Reminiscing with Gene DiNapoli or the J12 podcast, please check out Mike Vivallo, Mafia Chronicles, Team Vivallo, Tutte Gosta, and let's work together on making this world a better place to live, eat, and be happy.
Now shut up and eat.
Now shut up and eat.
Now you got to give me the Shine Box line. Now you got to say go home and get your fucking Shine Box.
Mike, go home and get your fucking Shine Box.
There you go.
We're going to see you in a couple of weeks, all right?
Thank you, brother. Yes.
We'll bring you back on.
Let's do it. I'll get someone. Who do you want? You want an Italian baseball player? I work with a lot with the Italian American Baseball Federation too. Those guys are cool.
We're going to meet for lunch this week. We're going to hash it all out.
Clams. All right.
Everybody say hello and goodbye to Mike Vivallo, everybody.
Thank you, Mike.
Thanks, Mike. Talk to you tomorrow.
Take care. Wow. He's great. He's done so much. He said
so much in such little time. Huh,
you told me last minute about him. I just looked him up, and he's done a lot of really cool things.
I know. And that's the good part about this forum is we're going to meet a lot of people that we never would have because they don't live in the area. And I think if we join together, we could get through this trying time of strife and put a little more positive feel on our lives and a little more happiness, which will trickle down to the children, which are the main course of what we do. So if we can make everybody a little more happier, then we've done our job, right, Mike?
Exactly. And how much news can you watch? How much junk can you watch? This is, stories, especially before Cristina, a lot of things that people were saying that, about the interview were so different than maybe things she answers or things they didn't know and things they didn't see. It's very interesting.
Well, that's why I think this forum of interview show is going to go really well because we give people 45 minutes or an hour to say what's on, their career and what's on their mind.
Right.
Want to mention two quick things. Got an email a little late. Couldn't watch it, but tonight on what channel? Let's see what channel. Tonight on Cablevision, channel 135 and Spectrum channel 460 is a great documentary called Courage and Conviction, the true story of Christopher Columbus. It's premiering tonight, 6:30. Of course, that's past, but it'll be online. It's narrated by our friend and great Italian-American advocate, Mr. Chaz Parmentieri. It was produced with the Knights of Columbus, the National Columbus Educational Foundation, in conjunction with the Columbus Citizens Foundation. Our friend Pat St. Angelo is our friend there, and we want to at least let people know that tonight after our interviews show that they could go online and watch it. And I think people should watch it because, of course, there's a very disparaging remarks about Columbus, which may or not might be true, but there are some positive things. And I think before you make what's considered an educated decision, I think everybody should watch everything they can. And this seems to be a good starting point. Mm-hmm. So check it out on online and all other platforms. Please go to our website and our page, Reminiscing with Gene DiNapoli. Look at our sponsors. Take a look at our shops. We have songs by Anthony Ligori and A Piece of Cloth by Stan Zitzkes Del Satins. And Mike, next week, I am tickled pink for our next guest because I traveled with this man for many years as part of his entourage. I learned so much from this man. I got on the school training by Joey D of Joey D and the Starlighters. You might remember a number one hit, 1961, called Peppermint Twist. He had a hit with Shout. He starred in 2 movies. He traveled the world and also had a hand in finding and promoting 3 of the greatest rock and roll acts in history. Now, we're not going to tell you who they are because we want to come back next week.
Right. Wait till next week for that.
Wait till next week. And check out our sponsors. Email them. Tell them you saw them on the Reminiscing with Gene DiNapoli show. Send me a message if you have a guest that you'd like to see on, or you know somebody that I don't know or might not know. Please reach out to us. We'd love to have them on. And keep an eye out for my new shows, which will start production in a few weeks. We are looking for sponsors for product placement. So if anybody owns Ronzoni or Barillo or San Marzano or all these other Bertoli, if you own these and you see the show and you want to get involved in a positive Italian message, get in touch with me and we'll tell you what's going on. Mike, that's our show for the week. Yes. Thank you once again for all your hard work, Mike. Big round of applause once again from Miss Cristina Fontanelli, ladies and gentlemen. Mike Vivallo, Michael DeRita,
and Gene DiNapoli.
God bless you.
We're going to
go America.
We're going to go out with a little reminiscing, and yes, we're going to have a surprise. Hopefully, maybe next week for everybody. We are. Let's go take
happy Italian Heritage Day. Yes. Everybody, you're proud of your heritage. Support it. Be proud of it, as we are. God bless you. God bless America.
Good night, everybody. Good night.